Games, when compared to other forms of entertainment like movies and music, have a considerably higher tag, with standard retail prices now being increased to $70 for many games. However, with frequent sales and the advent of Xbox Game Pass and streaming, fans can essentially have a never-ending list of games to play without having to pay a fortune for it. That said, there's also no shortage of great games that you can get for a fraction of the retail price. And here are 15 such games. Hollow Knight. Team Cherry's take on the increasingly popular Souls-like genre has been met with great critical and commercial acclaim, and for all the right reasons. The world of Hollow Nest strikes a careful balance between being joyful and daunting, and in addition to this, the game has excellent art direction, music, platforming, and level design. It's a really well-rounded and complete package, which is also across all platforms, at just a fraction of the cost of contemporaries. PSYCHONAUTS. Double Fine's debut project might not have garnered huge commercial acclaim, although those who played it before, and even recently, will shower the game with endless praise. The story of Rasputin trying to save the camp as he completes the trials and tribulations required for attaining the coveted Psychonaut cadet rank is brimming with masterful writing and creative level design. Psychonauts constantly awes you as it takes you from one richly realized locale to the next, and it holds up surprisingly well even today. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is arguably the best entry in the now dormant Splinter Cell franchise. Each of the game's almost dozen levels is a sprawling playground of possibilities as you try to make the best use of your tactical and espionage skills to make it past as many guards as possible without raising any alarms. It might not be the best looking game of today, or have the most polished of animations, but the methodical stealth gameplay remains as rare as it is enjoyable in the modern day and age. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. One of the more recent releases of this list, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is the latest entry in the franchise that played a huge role in bringing immersive sims to the mainstream. Simply said, Mankind Divided polishes the formula established in Human Revolution and is all the better for it. It's a flexible game with a lot of moving parts and a richly detailed setting of future Prague, and you're encouraged to constantly learn and adapt to overcome hurdles. Left 4 Dead 2. Valve's 2009 co-op zombie shooter might be more than a dozen years old at this point, but remains one of the most enjoyable games you can play with a group of friends, even today. The game has huge swaths of content, all of which are consistently high quality. The gunplay still holds up really well even today, and with the asking price of less than $15, you just can't go wrong with this game. Portal.
As part of a required test protocol, our previous statement suggesting that we would not monitor this chamber was an outright fabrication. Good job.
Portal is yet another Valve game on this list that should be experienced by anyone who loves video games. The simple premise of creating portals to overcome obstacles is slowly and steadily made more challenging as you uncover the real motives behind the GLaDOS AI. It might be short in length, but it is an experience that you just can't get anywhere else, unless you play the sequel, of course. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Joseph Fares of A Way Out fame also worked on Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, another co-op adventure that carries all the great traits of a co-op game. Great co-op mechanics, meaningful level design, and a touching story, all rendered in a simplistic but good-looking art style. It's a great game to play with a loved one, and with such a low price tag, you can't go wrong with it. The Swapper. The Swapper is yet another experience that's bound to leave a lasting impression not only on the fans of the genre, but to fans of the medium. The Swapper features some excellent puzzles that are capable of constantly amazing you, and the same stands true for the excellently crafted world. In addition to all this, the Swapper is also able to deliver a meaningful narrative that, again, is a rarity in a puzzle game. The Stanley Parable. Galactic Cafe's standalone release of this popular Half-Life 2 mod might not be the most action-heavy or mechanically rich experience, but it delivers a great narrative that forces you to question your decisions and actions at every turn. The Stanley Parable is a simple yet extremely replayable game that shouldn't be missed out on by fans of the medium, and those with a hankering for trying out the game can do so for just a handful of bucks. Don't Starve Together. Klee Entertainment might be best known for its work on the Mark of the Ninja games, but Don't Starve Together is an equally great experience that places equal emphasis on both its co-op and survival elements. The game has a rich assortment of mechanics that make surviving the game's daunting world, that's rendered in a beautiful cartoonish aesthetic, a joyful experience through and through. Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. United Front Games' story might be a short-lived one, but the legacy of its games carries on to this with Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. Set against the backdrop of Hong Kong, players assume the role of undercover cop Wei Shen, as he tries to bring down the mafia families that rule the city's streets. The game has loads of content to partake in and systems to engage with, and the Definitive Edition presents it all in a complete package with higher fidelity visuals. Alan Wake.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Alan Wake is one of the most creative and astonishing experiences that you will ever play. As protagonist Alan Wake, you face the transformed denizens of Bright Falls as your vacation starts to become a nightmare, and that too of your own making. The narrative is fascinating, the characters are intriguing, and the gameplay keeps building on its foundations, making it an unforgettable experience. Stranded Deep. Developer Beam Team Games' Stranded Deep sees players trapped on a mysterious island after recovering from a dangerous plane crash. You have to keep tabs on food, water, and whatnot, and you can choose to play in either co-op or solo, although the former is arguably more fun than the latter. It might not be the most innovative survival experience out there, but at this asking price, it's a great pickup nonetheless. Undertale. Undertale is a rather unique experience. It's an RPG where killing your enemies is relatively easier than overcoming them with love. Its turn-based combat system puts a fun spin on the traditional formula, and while it has simplistic visuals, it's a touching narrative with unforgettable characters. Simply put, Undertale is an experience that should not be missed out on by fans of the genre. Baba Is You. A game is defined by its rules, but what about a game that's all about changing the rules to overcome its obstacles? Baba Is You is just that. It's a simple game where you can become anything using in-game characters and objects. It starts out simple, but as you get well-versed with the mechanics and the premise itself, the game starts to throw more and more complex obstacles at you, which makes it an engaging experience through and through. And with that, we reached the end of the video. Have anything to say? Let us know in the comments below. Also, we upload new videos every single day on Gaming Bolt, so please consider subscribing as it really helps us out. Thanks for watching.